Do you know that you must know yourself to grow yourself? That you must see value in yourself to add value to yourself? Because the value we place on ourselves is usually the value others place on us. I mean, Dennis Waitley defined personal development as a belief that you're worth the effort, the time, the energy needed to develop yourself. And if you do not realize that you have genuine value and that you're worth investing in, you would never put in the time and energy needed to grow your potential. I mean, in life, you either have excuses or results. And the thing about it is that God has invested in us so many seeds of possibilities. But for this seed to grow, we need to cultivate it. We need to water it. We need to feed it for it to begin to grow. But I have realized that one of the many things that has limited us or that have limited us from actually growing that seed or cultivating that seed is low self-esteem. And I, for sure, dealt with low self-esteem, which is why I am very passionate about this video, and that is why I have put in the time and energy to explain everything I'm going to explain in this video, because I can bet you that it is worth your time. I mean, I came to the realization that growth is a sacrifice and that I either have results or excuses. So if low self-esteem is limiting me or was limiting me, I had to find a way to get rid of it. So it got to that point where I told myself enough is enough. Enough of such mindset, enough of this time waster. So I was able to find ways to get rid of it, which is why I am making this video, just in case there is someone out there who wants to get rid of his or her low self-esteem. I can bet you that this video is worth your time. So one of the things that helped me overcome low self-esteem is building my self-image. Yes, that's like the major breakthrough on how you can completely get rid of low self-esteem, building your self-image. So I'm going to be taking you on the steps of how you can build your self-image. There are 10 practical steps of how you can build your self-image, but for the purpose of this video and in a bid not to make it really long, I'll be explaining 5 in this video. Then in my next video next week, I'll be explaining the remaining 5. So please do well to subscribe and like so that you get a notification when I post the next 5 next week, all right? Now let's head to the steps on how you can build the right self-image so as to get rid of low self-esteem. The first step on how you can build your self-image is to guard your self-talk. Yes, to guard your self-talk. Whether you know it or not, we have these running conversations within ourselves. But the question now is, what is the nature of yours? Do you encourage yourself or do you criticize yourself? But if you're positive, like you encourage yourself, then you're helping to create a positive self-image. But if you criticize yourself, if you're negative, that means you're undermining your self-worth. And where does this negative self-talk comes from? It's mostly from our upbringing. To be honest, most of this negative self-talk that we usually have within ourselves is mostly from our upbringing. Now imagine with me that there are 2 children here, child A and child B. Child A came from a background with so much love. Whenever he fails in school, or maybe for the first time in his life he failed, the parent tells him that, no baby girl, you are smart enough, you are hardworking, you can do it, all you have to do is put in the work, put in the effort, and you will do it, I trust in you. And then there is child B, where the first time he failed, the mother tells him that the people that pass every time, do they have 2 heads? The people that are doing well in the class, do they have 10 brains? That he's a good for nothing child, that there is nothing he or she is good at or good in. When these 2 kids grow up, one would have the mindset that he's smart and can do anything that he puts in the effort to do, One will believe that he's not good enough because that is what he has been fed with as a child. The foundation of a building is usually the most solid foundation, is what determines whether the house would stand or not. So if the foundation the child is fed with is what determines the outputs of that child, his mindset. So if this child B grows up, he already believes that he's not good enough and there is nothing he's good in. So therefore, why should he even put in the effort to improve himself? You see? So these running conversations we have within ourselves, we have to ensure that it is positive. We should be our own self-cheerleader. And if we want to change our lives, we have to change how we think of ourselves. And to change how we think of ourselves, we need to change how we talk to ourselves. All right? I mean, the older we get, the older we are, the more responsible we are for how we think, how we talk, and what we believe in. Don't you have enough problems in life already? So why add to it by discouraging yourself every day with negative self-talk? See, you need to learn to become your own encourager, your own cheerleader. For every single time you do a good job, learn to give yourself some accolades, learn to compliment yourself. For every time you choose discipline over indulgence, don't just shove it away that's what it's supposed to be. Compliment yourself. For every time you put in the work, give yourself some accolades. And for every time you make a mistake, don't go and bring back the whole mistakes you've made in the past. Instead, tell yourself that you're paying the price for growth and that next time you will do better. So, feeding yourself with a lot of positive self-talk would help you build a proper self-image. All right? So you should ensure that you listen to things that will build the mindset you wish to have so that you can attain the heights that would enable you obtain the results which you seek. That takes us to the second thing you can do to build your self-image, which is stop comparing yourself to others. Do you know what usually happens when you compare yourself to others? It's usually of two things. The first one is you either perceive the person to be way ahead of you and then you feel discouraged, or you actually perceive yourself to be higher than the person that you're comparing yourself to, and that now makes you become proud, or it even stops you from growing because you feel like you're the best there. You see? So neither of these two things would actually do you any good or even help you grow. That is why your only competition should be yourself. Comparing yourself to others is just a needless distraction. The only person you should compare yourself with is you yourself. Because your focus should be that you are better today than you were yesterday. And you do that by focusing on your today, by focusing to see what you can do to improve yourself today. Do that enough, do that over time, and you will see that when you look back at your progress, you will see how well you have evolved over time. All right? So your only competition should be yourself. What did you do yesterday that you can improve on today? What went wrong yesterday that you can actually fix it today? So you should focus on improving your today so that you're not stuck on where you were yesterday. So that you build on what you learned yesterday, put it to what you're learning today, and you see yourself growing and evolving. So please avoid comparing yourself to others because it can damage your mindset. All right. So the third thing we can do to improve your self-image or to build a positive self-image is to move beyond your limiting beliefs. Yes, your limiting beliefs, move beyond it. Do you know that the greatest limitations that people experience in their life is usually the ones they impose on themselves? You thinking you're not good enough, you're not capable to undergo any process that would attain the height you want. The truth about it is that is a lie. That is because you've built such mindset. You've allowed fear of failure creep in to destroy the capacity that you have. Do you know that fear of failure is even more dangerous than failure itself? Because you're not even attempting anything. So how would you even discover what you can do if you don't attempt anything? So the ways to move beyond your limiting beliefs are: 1, identify that limiting belief you want to change. Yes, identify it. Once you've identified it, secondly, describe how that limiting belief is affecting your growth process or that change you want. Describe how it is affecting it. The third thing you need to do is describe how you would feel if you're able to overcome that limiting belief. Yes, describe it. Then write an empowering statement that affirms that you can overcome that limiting belief. An affirming statement that you can read over and over again that shows that you have overcome that limiting belief. And the fourth one is to actually describe how overcoming that limiting belief would impact your growth process or will bring the change you want. Okay? The fifth one is to outline the processes you can take to eradicate that limiting belief. And a practical example of these is, for instance, let's say I want to learn French language. That I have identified my limiting belief. I don't know how to speak French. Okay. The second thing I would do is to describe how that limiting belief is affecting my change or affecting the growth process I want to acquire. So me not learning French is limiting me from applying for international organizations because I'm not able to transcribe. All right, so I have defined how that limiting belief is affecting me. Then I will go ahead to define or describe how I will feel if I actually learn French. How would I feel? Then the fourth thing I will do is to write an empowering statement that affirms the possibility of me actually learning it. A statement that would build me, that would encourage me to go ahead, that I can do it. Then the fifth one is now to outline the processes. What can I do? What steps should I take to learn this language? All right, so I would go ahead to Google, browse, ask ChatGPT and all of that thing. Then the last one is now to describe the impact it will have to my growth process. So this is just a practical example. You can use this example I use to figure out your limiting belief and answer all these questions. Describe yourself, how you feel and all of that. And I can bet you that if you're being honest to yourself, you will be able to overcome your limiting belief. You'll be able to move beyond your limiting belief. All right. But it's an overtime thing. It doesn't happen in one day. You have to do it over and over again. You have to practice those empowering statements that you're going to write down because you need to build a mindset that will be able to carry and attain the heights that would enable you to obtain the results you want. All right. So the fourth thing you would do to overcome So the fourth thing you need to do to build your self-image is to add value to others. Yes, add value to others is very important because people with low self-esteem usually feel inadequate. They usually feel like the victims. I remember back then I felt like I can't do this, so I'm not good enough. Please, let me not even try it because I'll mess it up. Do you understand? So we usually feel inadequate. We usually feel like the victims. So one of the things you can do to actually overcome your low self-esteem is to add value to others. Absolutely correct. Yes, because you adding value to others will make them value you, which will help you feel like you are valuable. And adding value to others makes them value you even more, and that is you creating a positive feeling from one person to another person to another person, because you're adding value to others, because you're providing value to somebody. And when they say thank you, oh my God, thank you for making this possible, thank you for making this work, to be honest, without you knowing, you're actually building a mindset that feels like you're valuable, you're useful, you now start feeling accomplished. Trust me, I felt that way when I started adding value to people's life and they started thanking me for it. All right, so adding value to others can also help you overcome your low self-esteem. The last one I have for this video is to do the right thing even when it is hard. Yes, one of the best ways to build your self-esteem is to do the right thing even if it is hard. It helps to give you a strong sense of satisfaction, because you know what happens when you don't do the right thing is either you feel guilty and that makes you feel bad about yourself, or you try to lie to yourself or convince yourself that the actions was right, and this does more harm to you and your self-esteem, because every time you take an action that builds your character, the stronger you become as a person. All right? Every time you choose discipline over indulgence, the stronger you become as a person. So do the right thing even if it is hard. Like I said in the beginning of this video, growth is a sacrifice. You either have excuses or you have results. And I have realized that people are willing to change their situation, but they are unwilling to improve themselves. Hence, they remain bound to the situation. So you need to improve yourself. You need to improve your character so that you can be able to improve the situation that you're currently in. So I also advise that you do the right thing, even if it's hard. Put in strategies that would curtail that habit that is limiting you. Put in strategies that would make you to be unique in that sphere of life you found yourself. Put in strategies that will make you stand out in every place you find yourself in. And as I am speaking to you, I'm also speaking to myself because I'm not even perfect. I'm not even there yet. So it's a journey we all need to embark on. All right? So let's do the right thing, even if it is hard. And if you're just starting out this journey of trying to improve yourself, I would recommend the video, How to Improve Yourself Within 24 Hours, or How to Begin Your Journey in Personal Development. All right? So I have so many videos on this that I have shot in the past. Please, I advise that you go and watch it again so that you can understand where to begin from or how to even begin the journey. So if you enjoyed this video so far, please ensure you like, subscribe, and share so that other people can get to see this video and also get to learn one or two things from it. I will see you next week, Saturday, where I'll talk about the remaining 5 steps of what you can do to build your self-image. See you next week, this same time, this same day. Bye-bye.